Welcome back to day 15 of our one pose a day for 100 days. I hope you've enjoyed what we've been practicing so far. Today we're going to practice tree pose or Vrikshasana pose in Sanskrit. This is a great pose for grounding and increasing our balance. Something you can practice maybe while waiting for the kettle to boil or brushing your teeth. Give it a try, maybe hold for 10 to 30 seconds at a time and build that up. All right, we have an optional chair for holding on to while we practice our balance and or a block. So I'll demonstrate both of those as we learn our practice, and let's get going. All right, let's take a couple nice arriving breaths, arms out to the side. Take a nice inhale as you reach the palms overhead and exhale, lowering. As we do a few more, raise the head, look up towards the hands. Exhaling, chin to chest. Letting yourself arrive to your one pose practice today. Let everything else outside go. Next time you bring the palms overhead, let's exhale, palms together and down by our sides. All right, I'll start with showing the chair, and it's probably easiest if you're behind the chair. That way you don't have to move it side to side. So that way you can use the chair in front of you to hold on to as we practice both sides of the chair pose. I'll move that off to the side because I think that's relatively clear. We can try a block, and that just helps to raise the floor. So a couple of options. Let's start together with our feet together and big toe mounds are touching. Same idea of mountain pose, nice even weight through both feet. Hips right between your heels and your ankles, and feel the toes. You want to be able to lift the toes, spread them wide, and let them rest down at the mat so we're not over gripping the toes. All right, so we'll start with shifting the weight into your right leg, and you can watch this first and then we'll practice together. I'm going to bring my right foot, ball of the foot or toes onto the floor as I turn my knees slightly out. It's about a 45-degree angle. We're not turning it all the way in line with the hip, as that would just strain the body, straining that knee, standing knee. So just about a 45-degree angle out to the side. So the foot can stay on the floor, or an option is having that foot on the block so we get the leg a little bit higher. So you might progress, start on the floor, and then perhaps use a block. So I will demonstrate without the block. So let's start together. Feet together. Shift the weight into that left leg as you come up to the ball of the right foot. And we'll turn that knee out again, just about a 45-degree angle. Let the heel rest on the ankle. So I'm going to go through a little versions together. As you do that, sometimes that standing leg hip wants to jut out, so it's engage that hip and bring both hips back in alignment to the midline of our body, stacked right beneath our shoulders. Want to make sure we're not locking the standing knee, so have just a tiny bit of softness, wrapping the muscles around the thigh bone as we ground down through the foot and reach up through the crown of the head. So same idea as mountain pose. Energetically lift the front of the body straight up through the crown of the head, ground down through the back of the body into that standing heel. All right, as we keep the energy of the legs drawing inward, let's bring the palms together. So remember, you could have palms, hands on the chair just to start to build and increase our balance. As available, maybe one hand can stay on the chair and one hand can come together at the center, come to the center of the chest. So if we're ready, perhaps both palms come together. Keep the shoulders releasing down away from the neck. An option here, so it's helpful to find somewhere out on the floor ahead of you, about 10, 12 feet to focus on that's not moving, or at the wall away from you. Finding that nice focus, feeling that balance through that standing leg. And then you're welcome to raise the limbs of our tree. So if the shoulders are tight, just take the arms a little wider, have a wider brim tree. If you feel like you want to bring them more together, again, think of the shoulders staying down away from the neck, reaching up through the fingertips, You can spread the fingers just slightly wide. Also an option to bring palms together. Any of those options work perfectly fine. When you find your grounding through that nice tree pose, pause here and find yourself those nice, even, smooth breaths. So we're building our focus. As we work through challenging things, it's great to find that easeful breath, letting those exhales out, because we might notice that we're holding the breath when we're practicing something a little more challenging, or shortening the breath. Check in, see if you come back to a nice easeful breath. Now let's slowly come back out. Step the feet together and walk it out. Standing legs, doing a lot of work, getting some strength through that standing leg as well. All right, let's try the other side. Hopefully do just as long. Remember, you can use the block. We'll move it to the other side. Actually, what helps, should have demonstrated this first. The blocks together are in between the feet. That way when you shift the weight, the block's right there and gives you that little extra height while you rest that heel on the inside of the calf. So this time I'll demonstrate using that. Maybe practice the same version that you did before, but I'll demonstrate with the block. So we'll shift the weight now into that right leg, ball of the foot onto the floor or the block, turning that knee out, let that heel rest. Again, just about 45 degrees. Watch that outer hip. Can you draw it in energetically, strengthening the hips, grounding down as you reach up nice and tall through the crown of the head. Hands can stay on the chair or bring the palms together. And then just feel a nice sense of grounding, like you've got roots growing out the soles of that foot, spreading far and wide. Find your focal point out in front of you that's not moving, that you can focus on. And then either keeping the palms at the center of the chest or raise the arms. Find your nice extended limbs of your tree. Palms are facing in towards each other. Either wide arms or drawing the arms straight over the shoulders. Find your breath. Notice if you're holding the breath, gripping, shortening it. Can you take some nice, even, smooth inhales and exhales? And then notice the body. I want to make sure we hold it on the same side as we did the other. Notice the body as you're holding yourself in this balance, trying to keep you nice and stable and balanced. You can feel the muscles, the feet, the ankle, the legs working to keep you nice and stable and balanced. So not only does it increase balance, but increases strength in our feet, our ankles, our legs. Let's take 2 more nice even breaths, trying to find nice evenness on both sides. All right, let's draw your palms together and down. Careful of your block, step that opposite foot down. All right, we're going to try again and demonstrate. So if we want to build into our tree pose, I'm going to move the block off to the side. It's great if you want to increase where the foot comes up the body, to have something to hold on to. So either a chair, you can use a cabinet or a wall, kitchen countertop. I'll demonstrate. You use what feels comfortable for you today. Feet together. Have a little softness in the knees. Let's shake it out, just to let go of all that tension we may have been holding. All right, ground the feet down, lengthen nice and tall, shoulders back. Shift the weight now into that left leg. Start with the ball of the foot on the floor as you turn that right knee out. All the same actions, hips in, palms together. Now, if you want to challenge yourself as we build our strength, the sole of the foot can rest on the calf, or you can draw it up into that inner thigh crease. And the idea here when you're doing this tree pose is you're energetically pressing that standing leg, inner thigh, into the foot. And that helps to keep you balanced. You can see I'm kind of rocking side to side. Now, we never want to be having the foot on the knee and pushing it outward. So that would just strain the knee. The knee doesn't go that way. So make sure it's either calf or inner thigh. So we're going to start together as I shake it out. All right, again, if you have some really slippery pants on, sometimes this just doesn't work. So just practice where it's comfortable on the calf. Perfectly fine. We'll step the feet together, and that's what I'm going to demonstrate. All right. We can take palms together. Shift the weight into that left leg. Come to the ball of the right foot first. All those same cues. Ground down through that left foot. Slide the foot onto the calf, or you can draw it up into that inner thigh. Wherever you want to be at today. Hands can be on the chair or palms together. If you like, reaching the arms up to the sky. Sometimes I find this actually helps me because I feel I energetically lift. Find your focal point. Find that nice even breath. And let's hold here. Maybe another 8 seconds. Bringing a small soft smile to your face, feeling all the stability. That standing leg. 3, 2, 1. Palms together and down. And step that foot down. Let's walk it out. Shake everything out. Let's do the other side. So whatever you did on this side, let's do the same on the other side. Feet together. Stand tall. Shift the weight into the right leg. Come up to the ball of the left foot. Turn the knee out. Draw the energy of the hips inward. Bring your palms together. And then decide, where were you at on that other leg? Can we bring that opposite foot to the same spot, either on the calf or that inner thigh? Remember, you're pressing that inner thigh into the sole of the foot. I'm going to come back to the same one we were doing, or I was doing. Palms together, find your focal point. Reach the limbs of your tree, arms straight up. Energetically lifting, feel the grounding of that standing foot. Imagine those roots growing out far and wide. Nice even breaths. We'll hold for another 8 seconds. Finding a little softness even though we're balancing, grounding that standing foot down. 3, 2, 1. Gently, palms together, step that foot down and walk it out. And just to work out the knees a little bit, sometimes standing poses can tighten up the legs, the knees. Let's bend the knees, hands on the knees. Just start some nice easeful circles of the knees around. Be mindful of the knees. If this doesn't feel good, then come on out of it. Change direction. Let's go the other way. Come back to center. Let's rise to standing. Take your arms out to the side. Have a nice inhale, palms overhead. And exhaling, palms together and down. Thank you for joining our balancing tree pose practice today. Give it a try every day. Maybe start with 10 seconds per side while you're brushing your teeth, waiting for the kettle to boil. I'll see you again tomorrow.